Hey guys, it's another episode of the freshest podcast on the planet. And it's
Mm-hmm.
called Just
Just
My
my
POV.
POV.
As you all know, I am Pearl Cardy.
And I'm Kelvin.
And today we're talking about everything that has to do like with relationships and it's not in the way that you think.
What do you think sustains a relationship more? Love,
Mhm.
sex, or money?
Um so the dynamics are just crazy to be
Yeah.
honest. Like I think it depends on who you're dating or who is dating you. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people value money so much. A lot of
Yeah.
people have love like acts of service, words of affirmation, all
Yeah.
those parts. We'll categorize that one under love. Then money, that one is like buying you gifts, taking you out, traveling and whatnot. And then sex. Sex to me, personally, I feel like sex is like a constant key. It's there
Yeah.
regardless if you have a good or a bad relationship. While I know that there are some people who are is the word dissatisfied with their partner when sexually. There are some
Sexually.
people who have such issues, but I mean, sex is one of the things that you can easily get or give so easily.
Yeah, you can get it from anyone.
Yeah, it's like it's just there.
If you
People
ask
are
me
ready to give
personally,
you.
yeah, personally, I feel like it depends on what you as an individual is looking for in the relationship, right? But
Hmm.
these days, most people that get into relationships and I actually see it lasting for a period, it goes both ways. It's either money or love, you know?
So you're not regarding sex at all in this?
Maybe for me in particular, I don't know, for people who really, really love you understand that thing, maybe sex could be the reason you're in the relationship. But that same sex, you can get it from anyone, You can get sex from anyone. You can maybe your
Mm,
ex, maybe like a sneaky link or something, not
mm,
necessarily the relationship. I see for the relationship, if let's say for example now there's this babe, she's like an influencer figure and she's going to get into a relationship with someone and he's unable to treat her like she treats herself, that relationship is not necessarily going to last. What do you think?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But then that one is now not about the money. That one is basically about love because if you don't love
Eh,
yourself, if you don't love yourself, you can't treat yourself in a certain way. You
right.
get me? Like, even if you don't have money, if you love yourself, there's a way that you treat yourself. So then you'll be
Yeah.
hoping to get a partner who can do something like that or do better. But then when it comes to just money, you can have money and still not love yourself. There's so many people in the world who are
Fair.
like that. So
Fair.
so that's why I said it's quite dynamic. It's not necessarily like one thing. As much as I know that guys always make us females feel like when we ask them for money that oh
Mm-hmm.
that's all that there is. But it really isn't about just the money. You can have the money and still not even choose to give
Yeah.
me. And that is really what we're seeing
Yeah,
these
and I
days.
always I would tell my
So
friends every day that even if that person is a billionaire, you are a roadside beggar if your money have not yet touched our hand. You
oh
know?
yeah, yeah. So
Because it
that's what I
doesn't matter
mean when
how
I
much money
say
you have. If you're not going to give that money to someone, who are you? What are you? Where are you from?
well, a
You
lot of
know?
a lot of a lot of guys especially like to have money to show off. They don't really like to have the money to
Yeah.
give you. So that's why these days you find ladies who are doing the work, getting the money themselves, and they're like, well, if you're not gonna give me or if you're not gonna care for me, then fuck off. You get me?
Yeah, and honestly, you
So
should go. You should leave. I think people these days, if you're getting into a relationship, you need to even ask this person, what are the things you're looking for in a relationship? People should have this discussion because there are some people who need material things. I mean, there has to be a level of likeness before you guys get to a point where you want to be in a relationship,
mm,
right? Maybe not
mhm.
necessarily love,
I think
right?
the word is
But
is more like attraction.
attraction.
That's the word.
Yeah. So you're attracted to someone and then you tell the person all the things you're looking for in the relationship. If the person is not ready to give it to you, make uncle they go. Make it they go because
Absolutely.
there are people who see girls like Instagram bodies that open up their body and stuff. You're a man who is attracted to a more reserved, like a conservative type of person. And you now follow an Instagram body who is about flaunting her body, going on vacays and all of that. And now you want to be in a relationship with her and change her from who she is. How about the church girls?
Come to think of it, what's your take on cheating?
Something I've come to realize, or I think the society should accept, is the fact that cheating is strictly for men, not for women. Men can cheat, but women should not. I repeat, should not.
I don't know why we're not having this conversation. Agberos are God sent. Without them, there is no Lagos.
Basically, in Nigeria, my country, you don't need education to become a president. All you need to.
This is a space where your voice matters. No cutoffs, no fear, because your dreams are valid. And in this space, they will be heard.
And now this entire conversation has brought me to one type of marriage that is brand new, but then it's just happening. Have you guys heard about lavender marriages? Yeah. So I know what it means, but I just decided that, you know what, let me just give you guys like a Google definition of lavender marriages so that you're very clear to understand what we're about to talk about. So lavender marriage refers to a heterosexual marriage entered into primarily for reasons other than love, often to conceal the sexual orientation of one or both partners. So, with this being said, as the definition, I find that on IG, I see that a lot of gay men want to go into lavender marriages with like straight women or lesbian women. But most of the time, they're simply just looking for a partner who is female. And I'm kind of like, what's going on? I thought you guys wanted to get married to each other. Okay, so while it is also true that the idea of having a lavender marriage is to conceal a situation and like an agreement. So what that means is you guys or like gay guys can't even get themselves to agree with straight men or with gay men as well that much that they now need to cover up with a straight woman. Yeah.
Well,
what the hell?
I kind of I get you. I get where you're going with it, but I kind of disagree
with
probably the men. Okay, so let me say it this way. First of all, most straight men are a moving red flag. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, but they are like moving red flags. And aside that they are moving red flags, society is a big red flag too. I mean, when we are going to talk about like the LGBTQ community and the society, they are in this endless conflict, right? And you know, for most queer people, they have like family members and
wait,
all of that,
conflict of what?
Conflict, like they don't really agree with themselves. I mean, as much as we can say that there's nobody who doesn't know about queer people.
Exactly.
Everybody knows about them now, but the level of hatred and injustice that these people tend to experience is so much. It's so much. Let's be very honest. And I think that's the main idea behind it, right?
Behind what?
The lavender marriage.
Okay, so then if your sexuality is so important that you have to be defined by it, what, and then you have to go through all this pressure and all this process to prove to anyone else that you must accept me based on my sexuality. Why do I then have to cover up?
Okay, there are so many types of queer people. So there are people who are in the closet, you know? So anybody who is going to be in a lavender marriage.
These are not closet people.
Okay.
They are openly, outrightly gay men.
But they get themselves involved in like the lavender thing.
But they seem to be interested in having a female partner over even having a
Over
gay
having a gay
partner.
partner.
So
Wow.
that's where I'm kind of like, wait. You guys want to eat your
Probably
kids, can have it
they
though.
were hurt.
I beg.
I mean,
in the
you
first
must
place,
have tried it before.
Then in the first place,
Yeah.
why are you trying to be defined by that? So the thing about, speaking about maybe like the LGBTQ community, it gets very complicated because they too are also in a dilemma of trying to prove to you that they are this way and then you must accept them
That way.
But then which now everyone is now okay, cool, go about
Yeah.
your business like that. But then they now come back and say, okay, now I am like this, but then I also want to be able to enjoy this other thing and this other thing. And life doesn't really give you those type of
Okay, so in these
chances.
lavender marriages, do you think they tick sexual boxes? I doubt.
So yes, they do because
they
because
do.
because most of them that I also see on IG, when these guys are talking about that they're open to having a lavender marriage, they're also open to have kids with these women. They want to have kids still because the idea usually of humanity, aside the fact that you want to be a successful person, you kind of also want to reproduce. You want to see what your fruits would be, what your own kids will look like. You want to groom them. And a lot of gay men are effeminate. So because they also have that instinct to want to be nurturing and caring and have their kids.
It's
so
a
they
lie.
still do want to.
A lot of gay men are masculine.
No.
70% of them are masculine.
No. They are not. And this is such a
70%
big
of
lie.
them are masculine.
This is such an obvious lie.
The
that
effeminate people
this
in
thing,
the queer community
this is just
very
weird.
little.
It's a lie.
They are
Why
actually
this
very
boy
little.
Why this body always do like this?
The
Why are you trying to lie about
masculine
something
men
that's so
that
obvious?
are gay are too many.
Oh my Lord. No.
For real. They are too many.
No, calm down. The most gay men are effeminate. And I'm not saying that there aren't masculine men who are gay. So this your fight is not even adding up. There are masculine men who are gay, but the majority of the gay community, men are effeminate, and then the girls are probably like masculine. That is why you have like, I'm changing transitions, I'm transgender. Okay, so if they weren't so feminine or effeminate, why do they want to bother to have all that and then be like and have nails?
So if we're talking about being gay, it's centered on the sexuality.
Which is what
that's who they get laid with.
Which is what a lot of these people want to be identified
not
as.
Not necessarily
they do
your
want
expression.
To be identified as that.
Yeah, because if we're going to say this way, because gay men are mainly, they are men who are attracted to men. Yeah.
Yes, but most of them are feminine.
There are bi men, there are actual gay men, and you understand what I mean? Like it's
but
the effeminate people in the whole gay umbrella, and not as much.
What? Who
and not as much.
I beg, I don't like the lies.
You only say it because
lies.
no. You only think that the effeminate people are like they are the gay ones because the first time you look at someone who is femme, you automatically would say they are gay.
No,
right?
I wouldn't.
Because it's not written on the forehead.
I
but
wouldn't.
Majority of the masculine men, a lot of them are actually gay. Some are yet to find out. Some have found out years ago. Many of them are ticking these boxes, and they would kill to conceal the truth.
Now, this thing that you're saying, I somewhat agree that there are a lot of masculine men who are still gay. However, in the gay community, most of the men that are said to be into men are effeminate. Now, that does not take away from the fact that there are a lot of heterosexual men who are rather gay than heterosexual because they don't even like women. But that's a conversation for another day. I'm even done.
It's honestly very complicated. It's very complicated.
And that's why I decided to talk about this lavender marriages, because what it has done is it has complicated a simple idea and direction that we were just going with, which was, okay, you're gay, this is your partner, move on with that. Move on with that. Now they're now going into another blend, which is like, okay, so now I am still like this, but then I also want to have a relationship with a heterosexual, or have a partner that's either lesbian but opposite sex, which now contradicts the idea of being gay in the first place. So that's where I'm a little bit confused. If you're any of those who are into lavender marriages or
Yeah.
want to go into it, you can please comment and just enlighten me a little, or enlighten us both.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, what's your take on cheating?
Something I've come to realize, or I think the society should accept, is the fact that cheating is strictly for men, not for women. Men can cheat, but women should not. I repeat, should not.
I don't know why we're not having this conversation. Agberos are God sent. Without them, there is no Lagos.
Basically, in Nigeria, my country, you don't need education to become a president. All you need to.
This is a space where your voice matters. No cutoffs, no fear, because your dreams are valid. And in this space, they will be heard.
Because me, I would only have assumed that people who get themselves involved in lavender marriages are doing it to conceal the truth. Hence, they are not open about their
Yeah.
sexuality. you know?
However, they carry themselves in such a way that suggests that
That
they
they
are
are-
already gay. Even women, like, do you understand? So I'm kind of like, bro or sis,
Oh,
what are you
okay.
doing?
What do you think about long distance relationships?
So long distance relationships, yeah.
Yeah.
Beg, that thing is tiring.
It is?
It is. Come on, like, So it's like you miss the person, you're thinking about the person, you want to see the person, but you just can't. You guys now do like video calls or like send each other messages, but then it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. However, I know that there are people who it's inevitable. They live in a world where they are just worlds apart. They have business here and then the other person, and they kind of need to keep it together. But I just want to be honest. What do you do to keep
In long
it together?
distance
Yeah,
relationships.
it now takes me back to like our first conversation when we were talking
Yeah.
about love, sex, or
Money.
money. Now, in a long distance relationship, if you're not taking care of your partner, like sending them money to offset their issues or bills or stress, I think that relationship is just going to be too hectic for your partner. Now, on the other hand, if you're a babe, yeah. Now, on the
It
other
depends
hand,
on your communication.
on the other
strength.
hand, you as a babe who's in a long distance relationship,
Yeah.
if you're not sending your man some streaks, some
Yeah,
or
to spice it up.
or just being there to listen to him when he's stressed after work, I don't know what you're doing. Now, with this being said, there's a chance, if what like more than 50%, like 70% chance that your partner will still cheat on you, especially because the person's not around. If you're a man that's sending money to your partner, the person go to chop your money
Yeah.
and be enjoying herself with whoever partner that she's with or that's around. And then the guy, you will send him streaks and he'll get a hard on. And he will just find some girl that he's just going to
enjoy
So
himself.
long distance relationships, personally,
Doesn't work for you.
yeah. But I can
Okay,
do
so
it.
for me,
I can
I'm a
do it
little
if I really
indifferent.
like the person. I can try to do it, but it
Yeah.
can't be for too long. All those people that are dating long distance, 3 years, 5 years, I can get it if you guys were already together before the person now travels or like has. That's
Not like
different.
you meet them
like
online.
You start and then you're by the time I've been talking to you for the next how many months? Let me just say, I don't know, maybe 6 months. Or if you're really active, we can be for longer. But personally, nah, I'm not a fan of long distance relationships. How about you?
Yeah, so on this issue of long distance relationship.
Wait, you look
I'm
like
a
you've
very
been- you
deep
look like you've been in a
person.
long distance relationship.
Maybe not 1, maybe not 2, maybe not 3, maybe
okay,
not
so you
10.
have.
So for long
Okay.
distance relationships, because I'm a very passionate person, I'm
And
a
I'm
very
not.
deep person.
And I'm not.
I don't know,
I'm
maybe
very-
for
I'm
other
not.
people. And in relationships, some people's priorities are different. Some people might be asexual. Who knows?
So
Some
wait.
people are demisexual. Some people are sapiosexual. You know, all of these things. And in long distance relationships, let's be very honest. In long distance relationships, you get to actually connect with this person because all the distractions that, you know, you guys would encounter if you guys were seeing yourselves, it's not necessarily there. You know, for instance, you meet him or her and then you guys go out today. You guys would easily get bored.
Why?
You guys would easily get bored. I mean,
no.
so
Who are
what
you
I'm saying
hanging
in
with?
essence is when you guys are able to connect emotionally and intellectually, and you're able to hold it for a longer period of time, that means you're into this person for who the person is, not necessarily the idea of having the person around you,
Okay,
or
so
maybe
hold on.
lost, or
So
all
hold
of
on.
these things. Yeah.
So hold on. The thing about, I get you, and I absolutely agree when it comes to like
Because that relationship
having
will actually last
a way to
unless you're catfishing.
bro. Exactly, because there are some people that can lie. First of all, people, they lie. They just enjoy it. It's fun.
Yeah.
It makes everything colorful and nice. Like now,
Yeah.
in your long distance relationship, you may be smelly on your bed under the duvet, and then the guy is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, I just got out the shower." Bro, they lie.
With
give
the
you
bedroom voice.
yeah, with everything, and I'm kind of like, come on. There's
Oh my
that one.
God.
There's also the idea where you're saying things to somebody because you know that you're not in front of the person. You're never gonna
Yeah.
So even the things that you're saying, you don't even believe in them, but you're just saying
You're
them
just
because
'cause, you know, just for the
because
plot.
just for the plot. And I
Yeah.
realize that a lot of people really live for the plot, So
especially in this generation.
it's kind of like, so for me, I feel like as much as you can create such a strong bond with somebody, I absolutely agree. Especially when you're talking about real emotions, real mind, real heart. Yes, that's great and wonderful. But then there comes a time when you meet somebody in your physical life and that person
Just
will
no
trigger
follow.
something. No, the person will even trigger something that you start to be, as much as you're talking to this other person, you start to leave the idea of this person in this other person. And I know this because it happened before. When I tried long distance relationship with other people in my younger years, though. As an adult now, it's different. If I'm with somebody, I'm with the person. I'm not playing it. I'm not confused. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm focused on it. It's different. I'm dating for a purpose. It's different now. So I think that people should try, even if you have like a long distance relationship, try to put in more work. Try to just be more attached to the person.
Yeah.
It's difficult to always travel back and forth, but you can at least try twice in a year. How about that?
That's very fair. That's very fair. But my own advice to people in long distance relationships is, I think if you're in a long distance relationship with somebody, at least try to put in the effort. You know, you don't just talk every day. It's advisable that you
But
guys
that's
communicate
it.
every day. Yeah. And, you know, give yourself tabs of everything that happened. But make this person feel you.
Wait. But
Make
if you
this
don't
person
talk every
feel
day,
you.
but if you don't talk every day,
Yeah.
long distance, what are you doing? I just want
No,
please.
sometimes if you give attention to some human beings, they get too carried away and then they relax and then they wait for you to keep calling them every day. You know, so
okay, that's what you're
you need
saying.
to,
Okay.
you need to be able to read the mood. You need to, and you have to emphasize on everything. For instance, if the person pisses you off, you need to say it with your full mouth unless you die in silence.
Another
You
thing,
know, because that individual will call you tomorrow. Somebody who pissed you off, call you tomorrow. Hello, how are you? And you say, Mumu. You go,
but that's
I'm
another
okay.
thing.
How? How?
But that's another thing about these long distance relationships.
Yeah.
Too. When you're messaging the person, and you people are going back and forth, how do you? How is it real?
It's real. It's actually real. You need to be able to imagine that this person is somewhere around you. Like, your imaginations are going to do the most of the job.
See now, if
You know?
for instance, you want to message me and you say I'm coming, right? And you don't put any emoji beside it.
Yeah.
I don't know what tone of voice you used to say.
Yeah.
When you're in a, because even as familiar as we are,
It's for the
when
people
I
that are
message you,
texting
you
now.
always say that I'm just sounding straightforward, but you don't know I'm laughing
when
while
you
I'm
text,
typing
you
it.
text very mean.
I'm a
though.
very, but I'm not a
very
mean girl
horrible
at all.
texter.
I'm just a straightforward texter. So the
And
thing
very
about
few
me is,
words.
yeah, I don't write too much. If you check even on my page, I don't
Yeah.
comment too much, like write a long. No. I just say what I need to say real quick.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized that a lot of people misunderstand me when I just say okay or yes or thank you. They
Yeah.
think I'm supposed to say hey, thank you. But how do you type that?
I think I have 50 degrees. When I said, I don't mean degree as per temperature.
When it comes to texting.
I mean degree. Like I collect it, I graduate from
It
it.
goes to
When it
texting.
comes to, no, not texting. I hate texting. When it comes to like online
Conversation, yeah.
friendships,
No. Conversations.
I
I'm
don't
good.
think it makes any sense that you text. Texting is very stressful.
No, it isn't. See
What happened to
happens.
video calls? What happened to
So-
calls?
So I love calls as well.
Yeah.
And I can relate to calls because you can also hear from the tone of my voice how I'm feeling, if I'm excited
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. I get that. But texting is so cool because you can live two lives. I can be here at a party and I'm having so much fun at this party. But then I'm chatting with this guy who's sending me like maybe some noodles or something. And I'm like, and I'm smiling. I'm getting the best of
And you're
both
like,
worlds.
just in
I'm
bed.
like, oh my God. And then there's music. And then there's a drink. And I'm like, ooh. And then I'm drinking.
I'm
I'm
crying.
living the best
No,
of
you are
both
so
worlds.
wrong.
I'm telling you.
Okay,
I'm
that makes
telling
sense.
you,
I
it's
feel
so
you.
cool.
Yeah.
It's really so cool texting, but a lot of people don't get it because you have to type these letters letter by letter to make a word. But then texting is just cool. I just feel like long distance relationships aren't things that really need to be long forever. Like it just needs to
For
be
a
long for a
period.
period of time.
Yeah.
Don't let's abuse it just because the person is there and available to answer you. Because another thing I realized is if you're in a long distance relationship and you guys are always in touch, the person at some point when they get so used to it doesn't realize that there's a need for them to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
there
means
comes a
the
time
person
when if
know-
you're always there. No, if you're
Yeah.
always there. Hello, good morning. You send a photo. Oh, this is where I am. This is what I did today. The person does not now see the need to see
To
you.
see you.
The person sees the need to see you when maybe you don't answer one night. Person they suspect that maybe you went
Yeah.
out that night. You're with somebody. Then the guy will come look. Say, in fact, I'm packing my things. I'm going to find
Yeah,
out.
they're coming
And then
to
he'll now
see you.
move. You get. So these long distance relationships for me are just a dynamic that should just be a short period of time.
You
I
have
beg.
very, very low patience.
Yeah, you already
Some
know.
of
Everybody
us can wait
knows.
for 1 year.
Everybody knows.
2
I'm not
years.
very patient.
No, not
so-
2 years. But if you're going to be in a long distance relationship with someone, as long as you know that you guys are eventually going to meet, when I say eventually going to meet,
Yeah.
not like wishes, you guys have plans.
You're planning,
on
working
meeting,
towards it. You have to work
even
towards
if
it.
when you guys are going to meet is in 2030, as long as you know that there's that plan, 2030 feels like just tomorrow. Because you guys are working towards it. It's unlike you guys are talking every day. So do you think it's possible we're going to meet? It
Let's
depends.
just see how it goes.
Are you normal? What are you depending on?
Yeah.
And it's important. Please send these people flowers. Send gifts.
That's
send
where the
other
money
things, because
comes in.
People are. You can't tell someone who, at least someone who is hot. This person is in an entirely different continent, and you're in a long distance relationship with this person. You want to claim ownership of this person, but you don't think that there are other people like you running that same race.
No.
You
They are
understand?
too
You need to
special.
do something that will make them feel your presence. Something more than, hey, what's up? Good morning.
No, don't
type
worry.
shit.
No,
You
don't
know?
worry. They are very special.
You're very
when they
special.
use
Who
the
told you
voice,
that
I say,
your
hello, baby.
face is too cute? That, when they think of other things that they will enjoy, they will now really just relax because you sent from God. in
I
some
know.
way. How?
People like to think that they're special. Anyways, we've been talking so much about relationships. If you guys have any comments, make sure that you comment down below in the comment section so that you can enlighten us a little bit better if there's anything that we were missing out during this conversation. But just before we leave, I actually wanted to tell you guys that ding, 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 ding. We've got our own Just My POV mic. So now we've come to the end of this week's episode of Just My POV. Remember that this will be showing at the House Chronicles on YouTube. There are several other shows to be showing because it is Just My POV.
POV.
Mwah.